Cheli, I wanted to ask you something.
Okay.
So, are you ever on Twitter?
Yeah, I am.
Book Twitter? Do you ever
yes.
roam book Twitter?
Sometimes.
Okay, so I'm not really on there that much. I try to stay away from Twitter.
I get it.
But there was this one post that I saw of this person. They were really excited. They were like, these are my September reads, my September TBR read list, whatever. Okay. And they posted a picture, swear to you, like this tall of books.
Oh my God.
And one of them was Priory
of the Orange, whatever.
Yeah. That, the thick ass book. Okay. So this long ass list of books.
Mm-hmm.
Long ass pile of books.
It was a picture of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I saw this and I was like, I liked it. I was like, yeah, you go read those books. But then I never really scrolled through the comments, but this time I did, and people were really mean in the comments. They were like, do you actually read those or do you only skim? It's like, okay, even if I skimmed, what of it? What? You the reading police?
I know. oh, take me. What? Why are people mean though? That's not your book.
And then the person responded and was like, I actually annotate my books and I do really enjoy reading. Like, that's what I do. I just read all day. What about it?
And even if they didn't, even if I listen to this audiobook while I'm over here cooking, and maybe sometimes I don't hear everything, it's like your own life. Like, that's fine. You're not hurting anyone.
I just feel like some people think that we're going to write like dissertations on these books. Like, damn, it's not that deep.
And sometimes I'll read a book and I'll be honest, I'll forget every single thing as soon as I'm done reading it.
No, sorry.
Sometimes I will write a dissertation about it. It doesn't really matter.
It just depends on the read. But either way, like, I didn't think, well, if they get through that whole pile of books, amazing, good for them. But for me, whenever I see people say like, here are my hopeful reads, I just assume like, oh, whatever you get through it, like, that's just my first thought.
I do that shit all the time. I'm like, this is the month.
I remember you did that one time where you were like, I want to read this, I want to read that. You had a whole list of
I got through 9 of them, I think.
Also, none of those books were in our bulk. So
it's so hard, dude.
So I was like, interesting, because what about me?
It's so hard having a podcast about reading books and then not being able to read the books I want to read outside of the podcast.
Yeah. Sometimes I do. I feel like sometimes I do.
Oh, I wish I had that time.
Yeah, well, like we said that other time, I think it was 2 episodes ago, I think people just need to be nicer.
I think so too. I feel like, I don't know. It's just been a while since we've posted on social media. And it's funny because I've been drafting so much shit.
I bet it's gold. It's gold.
You're so nice. You're so nice.
You're so creative, dude.
But it feels different. You know what I mean?
I get you.
I don't know. I feel like we've been gone from it so long. It's no longer the book community is no longer what it once was. But that's weird to say because reading books never changes. But the community for it does.
Yeah.
And I don't think it should. Like, it should be more of a, you know what? Not much people read. So please join our community. You like fantasy? You're over there on the right. Like, you should be more kind.
You like
people.
Spooky books? Come to us September, October. We're here for you.
Yeah, you like thrillers? Just like one mean one. You like thrillers? Leave. We don't want you here. No, like, I don't understand where the meanness comes in.
I don't know. I just feel like it's just like a knee-jerk reaction for some people. I don't know why.
Yeah. Well, people are quick to shut down others, and it's just like a thing.
They just want to dull your shine, and don't let them do that to you.
That's beautiful.
Me
That's
reaching out.
I know. I was pointing at someone who's watching this. Me. She's talking to me.
Yeah, you. Well,
yes.
Cheli, do you think a book where, you remember VHS tapes?
Oh, I do.
Fondly? Okay. Imagine you're watching yourself in a VHS tape, and then all of a sudden it cuts to your parents.
Oh. Wait.
And your dad being like, turn that shit off. And then the camera falls and there's a dead body. Do you think a book like that could fix your lives?
I think it'll do quite the opposite, but I'm ready for it.
Well, welcome to another episode of the Book Fix Podcast, a podcast where we fix lives one book at a time. I'm your host, Yajaira.
And I'm your host, Cheli. And today we are talking about Home is Where the Bodies Are by
Jeneva Rose.
Thank you. I've seen this everywhere.
Dude, me too. Before we get started, we are a podcast where if you've read the book, amazing. Please sound off in the comments below. Let us know what you thought.
Yeah.
But if you haven't read the book and you have no intention to read the book, we're here for you because we spoil the important parts.
You know what we have to start saying at our intros? I saw this girl once say it. She's like, I don't consider myself a book reviewer. I consider myself a book deep diver. I just deep dive, and that's what the whole episode is. So like you get the whole story.
But
I think we're divers.
But sometimes we miss the mark.
Yeah, sometimes we don't even get in the water. And that's fine. We're just divers.
I just feel like sometimes we go off on tangents. Well, not even tangents. It's like, that didn't happen in the book. But it did, though. But it did. You just need to read between the lines.
I know. You didn't see that secret page that was glued together?
I did.
I did. And that's why you don't know. Talking about tangents. You know what this reminded me of? That I thought was going to be a bigger deal.
What?
I thought this was going to be like the Blair Witch Project, where it was like,
interesting.
I saw that on video and I don't know if that's real or fake.
You thought that?
Yeah.
Oh my God. I did not think that at all.
I was so ready for the Blair Witch Project. Oh my God. No, you don't even know. I was like, bowl empty, holding it out towards the book, waiting.
Then why don't you just go watch the Blair Witch?
Because I don't want to watch the book. I wanted to read the book. So this story.
Have you ever seen the Blair Witch Project?
I haven't. Good question. Okay.
I'm just curious because I've never seen it.
I've never seen it either, but one of my friends.
Feel like I have.
You know how they say like when you have a job, you're like, oh, having a coworker that's 85, and it's like, that's my best friend.
Yeah.
One of my friends, it makes it sound like she's so old. She was alive when the Blair Witch Project, she was in her teens when it came out and people thought it was real. She was living that. So she also like,
shut the fuck up.
She also thought it was real, and she was like, do I become religious now? Like what happens?
Oh my God.
So yeah, she told me about that, and she was like, no one's going to understand that scare. Like that was a big deal when it happened. And I'm like, damn.
Wait, what does she mean though? Like, did everyone watch it?
People who hadn't watched the movie were hearing about it. And it was like, you need to watch this movie because I think they're like real tapes of like something that happened. And it wasn't until like, I think it was like a week later where they're like, oh, it's just a movie, guys. But there was like.
Can you imagine like something like this? Well, I mean, in current time, we'd be like, whatever. But can you imagine being in that time?
That's crazy.
I think I would be so scared.
I'd be scared now if that happened. If someone told me, because the thing is, I'm gullible. I know that about myself. If I...
Me? Yeah. No, I'm just kidding. I was going to say me too.
If I got a fucking video and it doesn't even look like me and it's like, this is you, I'd be like, oh shit.
Oh shit, that's
How'd
me.
they get that? Not even. It's like a blonde woman. Like, that's me.
Like, I had a blonde face. That's me.
Yeah, I remember that. So this story, not Blair Witch at all. So kind of disappointed.
Oh, pobrecito.
Has to do with...
Disappointed with 2 books already.
I know.
Because you want it to be a certain way and it doesn't end up that way.
But we haven't even talked about it yet.
Okay,
so
sorry. I'll shut up.
It's okay. It's okay because you're really letting me kill time because I fucking don't remember the name of our main characters. Beth.
Elizabeth. Beth.
Nicole and Michael. So this story has to do with 3 siblings, and it starts off with Beth. Beth is living in their old hometown. Her siblings are MIA right now, and it's driving her insane because she's currently sitting with her mom, Laura, who is at her deathbed. The hospice worker is out on their break, And she like feels like this is the moment. My mom's about to pass.
Well, the hospice worker tells her like she only has a few hours left.
Mm-hmm.
And she's been trying to get in contact with her siblings. And she can't reach Nicole, but I think Michael was like, I'm on my way.
I'm on my way. I'm almost there. And she's getting angry because she's like, they had all this time to see mom and they're not even going to make it.
Mm-hmm.
And so she's over here like trying to make it as comfortable as possible for her mom. And Laura is just like not really has much like energy to say anything.
Yeah, she's not really speaking.
But her last words are frightening because with all the energy she can muster, she says, your dad didn't disappear. Don't trust. ... Don't trust. To be continued. And she closes her eyes and I'm like, that bitch, she got me again.
Oh my God.
She got me again.
Really bamboozling her last fucking breath.
God, Mom.
Dude, I was pissed. Poor Beth.
That's so sad. I thought that this book had really good descriptions too.
Yeah.
That shit was wild. But she's over here like, oh my God, my mom passed and she left me a secret message. They have a dad. And he had left a message. His name was Brian.
Don't trust the Brian.
Don't trust the Brian. That's like the first thing my mom taught me straight out the womb. So Brian had left a message a long time ago on paper that was just like, I'm so sorry, Laura. And then disappeared. And his truck was abandoned close to the border of Mexico.
Mm-hmm. So everyone assumed, oh, he's in Mexico now.
Yeah.
Counting pesos.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Good for him. But everyone's like, yeah, he just ran out on his family.
Mm-hmm.
But now Beth has this information like, oh, wait, so he didn't disappear? Who am I not supposed to trust?
Yeah.
Wait, hold on a minute.
She's thinking, wait, was she trying to tell me don't trust him? Like, don't trust my dad?
Yeah.
That was her first thought.
But then she was just like, I'm just going to hold on to that. Because, like, what? Who knows? Maybe she was, like, delirious at the very end.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe this meant nothing. And
then her brother shows up pretty shortly after that.
Yeah. And he's just kind of like, how's mom?
Hey, ciao. Oh my God. By the way, this book is in 3 perspectives. So all of the siblings. When we got to fucking Michael's perspective, I was like, Michael, shut the fuck up. Oh my God.
Well, I'm over here with my fucking Rolex.
You look at my Rolex.
Wait, what time is it?
He literally comes back to his little hometown and he's like, oh my God, these bitches still live here. I'm so broke.
Oh,
he's like, look at my new car. What is it? A Lambo?
All his fucking rings.
Lambo.
Too.
Fucking. I don't even know.
It's a Lambo 3.0, bitch. You wouldn't know.
It's the newest Tesla. It's not even out yet.
I know. You know
But
Tesla? No, you don't.
He is definitely someone who thinks he's above everyone.
Oh,
because he's rich.
But it sucks because the book makes you think like, no, but maybe he does care about his siblings. I was over here like maybe because he's over. Beth, how are you here? Have $400,000.
He never gave Beth money. First of all, Beth would never.
Beth would never take it.
No, he would never give Beth anything.
Oh no, thank you. I'll use those as napkins.
He would never give anything to Beth, but you're right. This book makes you think like, oh, he cares about his siblings because he shows up and he's very, oh, how can I help? Nicole's in the hospital.
Well, what number do I run on the check?
Let me just pay for her hospital bill.
Yeah,
I can. But anyway.
Wow, so you didn't trust him?
No, I did not trust him.
I was over here like,
no,
I would give my firstborn to Michael.
No, you weren't.
No, I trusted him.
This is your greatest fault. You trust men.
I know it is, and I know it's my fault. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. They made him. Don't name him Michael. Like I trust Michael.
Like Michael Scott.
I trust Michael with my whole life.
Michael Myers. Mike Myers.
That man comes in my house. Music starts playing. I'm okay.
Yeah, it's chill. I love Halloween.
I know what's going on.
But yeah, I didn't trust him. So he shows up. He's like, "Oh, where's Mama? Where's she?" Because he's all snobbish. Where's Mama?
Where's Mama? It's like she's that fucking lump right there. So they like uncover her, and it's just kind of like, oh shit! Like I could have been here if I like was just 30 minutes, earlier, whatever.
Yeah.
And then I love this part because Beth is like, well, when was the last time you contacted mom? And he was like, well, I did send her a text on her birthday. And he was like, wow, a text on her birthday.
Wow. And I've been here taking care of her. Beth is that older sibling.
I love that.
Who's just fucking over this shit. She's just like, I hate both of my siblings because I had to take the responsibility of taking care of mom. And
while they both had the opportunity.
And they didn't.
Yep. So she is over here just dealing with the death of her mom. It's like very just freshly happened.
And they start drinking, remember?
Oh, do they?
They're like drinking wine.
Well, I know that immediately after, too, when the hospice worker comes back, she gets a phone call that Nicole, her sister, is in the hospital because she got beaten up.
She got mugged.
Oh, God. So when she goes to her sister
in the hospital,
we learn that Nicole does not have an easy life. She is struggling with staying sober. And from what I know, it was like at 29 days of sobriety and she broke it.
No. So she was at 29 days and it's really sad because her mom was like, I don't want to see you until you get your first chip, which would have been her 30th day. And she was like, wow, I was 1 day away from seeing my mom.
That sucks.
I don't think she broke her sobriety.
Okay. I was worried that she would.
I don't think so.
But it sucks because even at the hospital, I didn't realize how tough it is, but she can't even ask for painkillers because she knows herself. Yeah. So she's just kind of like, I'm at a pain 3. She's over here fucking bleeding out. I'm at a pain 3,
She's
maybe
like,
a 2.
Actually, I'm chill.
Yeah, I could. Do you need to sit down? But I
think her arm is broken, right? That's
yes.
the only thing I remember is her arm.
So they all go home and they're back at the family home and they're just like, well, fuck. Like, I guess we got to have a funeral. What did mom want? And Beth's like, I don't fucking know.
Her mom didn't say anything because she didn't want to make it like a huge deal. Like, she didn't want to burden her kids with anything too extravagant. So she just wanted to be cremated and her ashes to be spread around like their property.
Yeah. And fine. That's great. And so I think it's the same night or the day after when they're going through the house and going through the stuff. So
who is the one who tells them? So Beth got everything, right? Beth got everything, but Nicole got like her journals and like personal writings and shit. And Michael got nothing? I don't think he got anything, right?
No, Michael got something. I can't remember what it was.
Because remember, Beth also got the lockbox. Yes. She got like a key for a lockbox. But I do remember
Nicole having a moment where it was like, oh, you could have only 2 of these items. Nicole's like, 2? Why don't I get more? And then Michael was like, it's okay. We can get you more. So I thought Michael had gotten more, but no, he didn't get anything.
He didn't get anything.
Yeah, it was mostly Beth. And I thought it was funny because Beth also at this point realized that Michael had been sending $2,000 a week to the mom and she hadn't used any cent of it and decided to donate all that money.
And that's crazy. Beth was pissed because she had used all of her paychecks to take care of her mom. Honestly, Beth is the real victim in this book. I felt so bad for her.
She had so when she would get mad, sometimes I'd be like, oh, she's kind of taking it too far.
No, I get her.
This girl was driven to the edge.
No, because also Nicole, she dealt a lot with her sobriety. She was struggling a lot. But it was Beth who would go and get her, who would go and help her and do everything for her.
Nicole calling her the worst things and would still be there for her. Yeah. So, but like I said, this book did a really good job making you think like, oh, but look at Michael. He went out to go help Nicole. He went to the Motel 3 that she was staying at, and
I forgot why they went there though.
Because she wanted to go pick up her stuff because they were gonna go on a trip to go pick up the dad.
Okay, well now we're going too far then.
Okay, because let's hold on to that because I want to do first night. They're all staying together, and then Beth's like, you know what? there's a lot of hatred in this room, mostly coming from me. And I just want to...
She's over their shit.
I just want us to all sit together. Why don't we watch a home movie? And Michael's like, isn't that like a little depressing? It's
No,
like,
it was Nicole who said that. She's like, the vibes are already off.
Nicole, shut the fuck up, okay? I'm the one doing everything in the house, so we're going to watch this home movie.
She gave everyone tasks. I forgot what it was, but it was mostly Beth who was sorting everything in like boxes. And then she just puts on a tape and...
June 15th, 1999.
Yeah, but I forgot what was in the beginning of the tape.
It was, I think it was a regular day because you see...
I remember. It was the whole like fundraiser that the mom did.
Oh, you're right.
Because the mom was in charge of a fundraiser and it kind of brought the whole community together. And there was, it mentions a lot of like neighbors.
Mm-hmm.
And there was this girl who won the race.
Emma.
Yeah. And
it was a little girl. She was like 8.
Mm-hmm. Because her children were young at that point.
Yes.
They were tiny. And so, yeah, it was like a normal day. But then I like how this book, they get to see what's in the VHS tape, but then we get more insight because it kind of ties in with the journals that her mom would keep.
Yes.
So we just, whatever, it's just a normal day. But then in the VHS tape, after that whole thing happened, you see the mom recording the dad. Or she's just recording and then the dad runs in.
And the dad is like, he calls out to Laura. And he's like, I need you. I need your help. It's like, well, what are you talking about? And Beth, I think, describes it as she's never heard her mom sound so panicked. And her dad sounds so unsure. But like you said, it cuts down and you see a dead body of Emma. And then the mom's freaking out like, oh my God, oh my God. And then that's kind of...
And the dad tells her, turn that shit off.
Yeah.
And then she drops the camera and it kind of stays panned to Emma. And then it cuts.
Oh my God.
Dude, that is so traumatizing. Imagine
you're like mid Domino's pizza because you thought you were just going to be watching a cute ass VHS tape with your siblings. Wait, did mom and dad
kill someone? You know what this gave me the vibe of?
What?
Do you remember when we talked about that Black Mirror episode?
Ew. Wait,
do you remember?
Which one?
The one? Oh, I forgot. They were doing a documentary because I think there was also a mystery.
Because I'm scared. It's disgusting. There was the one with the parents that were...
okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Queen. I'm sorry.
That's because I wanted to set it up first. I don't remember. Okay, so somebody is doing a documentary, but he used to live there.
Yes.
And then... he's going through his parents' VHS tapes and then he finds out it was his fucking parents who were both serial killers and they would record the nasty shit that they would do.
That is such a cool connection.
Thank you.
Can you, I'm so sorry to say this, but can you put a pin on that?
Yeah.
Because I think it parallels really well with what happens at the end of that and what happens at the end of this story as well. Okay.
Go ahead.
That is a good connection, though. I love that you said that.
Thanks, Queen.
That was really good. Queen.
I love compliments.
Okay.
Oh my God. Wait, can I tell you something?
What?
I'm so sorry, but this reminds me of something. When we were hanging out with my sister-in-law the other day, and I was with my fiance's nephew, we were playing board games, and he's little. He's like 6. And we were playing a matching game because, you know, he's a little kid.
Yeah.
But there was so many cards to choose from in this matching game. And I was doing really good. And Rigo, my fiance, was like, oh my God, you're so good at this. Wow, you're good job. And I was like, wait.
You saw the positive reinforcement.
Like, wait, what else do you like about me? And then his nephew was like, guys, stop being weird. That was so fucking funny.
That's so
I was like,
cute.
that wasn't even that weird. You want to see weird?
You want to see weird, huh? So funny.
Okay, sorry. Keep going.
Oh my gosh. So the tape ends mid bite of a Domino's slice, and they're like, "Oh shit." So what do we do with this? Because Beth, if I remember correctly, you were dating Lucas, which was Emma's older brother, and also there are neighbors, and he, I think. Ding dong, because this is mid everything. She goes over and it's Lucas, and it's like, oh, hey Beth, You're so cute. I mean, I just wanted to bring you a loaf of bread. And she's just like accidentally drops it. Oh, shit. I fucking hated this. It made me cringe so much. It's okay. I might have used salt instead of sugar. Okay. I gotta go. We should go on a walk sometime.
Why are you acting like a fucking TikToker?
That's what he felt like. Okay. But that happens and she's just kind of like, holy shit.
Well, when she's talking to her siblings about what the hell to do about this, she is the only one who wants to contact the authorities. Michael and Nicole are both like, why are we going to ruin our parents' name, image? Also, their dad is still alive from what they understand. And so they're like, no, we don't want to stir anything. We don't know anything.
Exactly. But I think they all come to an agreement at this point. If for some reason we find the body,
or we find more clues,
then we can go to the authorities.
Mm-hmm.
But as of now, let's just all keep this between us. Mm-hmm. And
no one trusts Beth, though. No. Nicole's like, don't tell Lucas when you go see him.
I won't.
Mm-hmm.
I won't. So I fucking love Lucas so much.
Yeah.
But it's just all these spooky books, man. There's just so much shit going on within the families.
Mm-hmm.
It makes me sad because there's one point where he says, like, it's hard living with my mom who has dementia when I have to remind her every single day that her daughter's not here.
I know, that was so sad because she would ask about Emma and sometimes he would just lie to her and tell her Emma's out.
Yeah.
She'll be here soon. That's so sad.
It is really sad.
But then don't they get into a fight? I don't remember why.
Who?
Oh, what's her face? Beth receives an email from her dad.
So the dad walked out, went to Mexico, or so we thought.
Mm-hmm.
She's been emailing her dad every day since. And on the day that the mom died, she told him, like, hey, mom died, just wanted to let you know, whatever. And then she receives an email and she tells the siblings. And what does the email say again?
It just basically says, sorry for not contacting you sooner, but I just can't be around you guys, or something very weird. Like, I can't be there for you.
Yeah.
But know that you're in my thoughts and prayers and love you, girl.
Dad.
And so Beth is pissed.
Yeah.
But Nicole is that sibling who's like, oh my God, Daddy reached out. Oh my God, I love that man.
Yeah.
He hasn't been here in so long, but I still love him.
And she's so hopeful because then Michael's like, well, if I track his IP address, it says he's in Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
What if we just go and get Dad?
Yeah.
Nicole is like, okay, let's get our stuff. Let's fucking go to Georgia.
But he does warn her. Us tracking the IP address, it could be faulty. I don't know if it's going to come to anything.
I don't even know if they leave.
They do leave.
Do they? Because I remember they go to the motel where she's staying at. And that's where...
No, they first go there to see the dad first. And then nothing is there. It's like abandoned wherever they end up going. And then after that, Michael is being super nice to Nicole and is like, oh, sister, you need some money. Here you go, sister. And then she's like, oh, hey, I
ate that shit up.
I really need to go to the motel because that's where she was staying.
Yeah.
I need to pick up some stuff. And then what happened?
And then there's a dude, because Michael's waiting in the car, but then he hears a commotion inside and he's like, oh my God, let me go check. And there's a moment where he like passes a dude and he like does that like sup look at him, like sup. And he's like, and it looked kind of mean, but I didn't say anything because I'm Michael. And so he walks in and he sees this guy like grabbing onto the collar of his sister's shirt. And it's like, where the fuck is my money, bitch? Mm-hmm. And Michael gets in there and beats this man up. Mm-hmm. Like so much.
And he's on top of him like, how much does she owe you? Oh, $500.
Oh, 500. Okay, I would take that out of my wallet, but that's fucking chump change. So here it is for my fucking back pocket, bitch. Throws $500 on him and punches him a few more times and is like, never mess with my sister again.
Yeah. But then in this interaction, we also find out that it was that guy who fucked up Beth's house, remember?
Yeah.
Because we didn't mention it, but before this, Beth's house looked like it was broken into. And shit
was
everywhere.
And we all assumed it was because someone was figuring out about Emma's disappearance and the parents' connection to it. So it had nothing to do with that.
It was because of Nicole.
Yeah.
So then they go back home and they come to an agreement, Nicole and Michael, that they're not going to tell Beth about this whole situation.
Yes.
And also they're not going to tell her that it was Nicole's fault or it had to do with Nicole why they broke into the house. They just wanted to keep her in the dark.
Okay.
But once they get back home, I don't remember exactly. We're not telling this in order, but one of the more pivotal moments is when Michael tells Beth, hey, I want to buy this house from you because she was left the house. And she's like, no. But he tells her, well, where's Nicole going to live? That's not fair that Nicole doesn't have a house because, now he cares all of a sudden about his sister.
And then he slides a check of $400,000 and he's like, no one's going to pay you that much for this house. So you this is it. This is the most you can make. And she's like, I don't want you to have it.
Yeah.
That's what it is. It's not that I'm going to think about it. I don't want you to have it.
Because she says that he gets everything. And she doesn't want him to get this.
And they had this whole moment because he blows up at her too and is like, oh, I'm sorry that you got hurt when you were practicing your track stuff. That's not my fault. You projecting on me. You're just miserable. I'm rich.
She could have been a track star, but she hurt her knee, I think.
Yeah.
And he starts telling her, you're just upset because I made something of my life and you're just here.
But then she even brings up, because we didn't mention, she keeps watching the other tapes. And in one of the tapes, right after the disappearance of Emma, you see it's Michael's birthday and he gets a computer and coding classes and all this. And she brings up
this was the tape that was right after.
Yeah.
But they hadn't filmed anything from July to November, I think, because his birthday's in November. And so she wanted to see how were my parents acting.
And it did feel weird. It very much felt like Laura was observing her family and she kept having very long shots of just the dad and his reactions.
Yeah.
But at this time, this fight that Michael and Beth are having, Beth mentions you were given everything.
Yeah.
And
they bought and Nicole, you a computer.
Me and Nicole were given nothing. So that's why you made it out and we couldn't. And he's just like, I don't fucking care about this shit anymore. I'm leaving. Leaves a $7,000 tip and leaves.
And he's like, the reason I never came back is because my mom told me that I shouldn't come back here.
I hated that shit. The first time we see it in Michael's perspective, and he's over here I hate it that boring people always have the most to say.
Oh my God.
Even when their lives are so boring and poor.
It's because they have no one else to tell, so they have to tell me about it. But their life is so boring.
So funny that this girl, I used to want her to know me. Now I don't even fucking remember her name that she told me 2 minutes ago. Hello?
I could not stand Michael. He was so fucking obnoxious.
Oh my God.
And then when he was trying to take care of Nicole, Beth got really annoyed because she was like, you haven't even experienced anything with her yet.
Yes.
Just wait. Just wait.
Does he ever get to that point with her?
No, he doesn't.
Okay. So going into solving this mystery.
She hangs out with Lucas.
Yeah, there's a point where her and Lucas hang out. And Lucas goes, the reason we broke up, that when that happened, they were 17 or 18, wasn't because of long distance. It was because my dad had passed. And I didn't tell you the whole story. He actually took his life. And I believe that because of the note he left behind, he has something to do with my sister's death.
That must have been so uncomfortable for Beth because she even asks him, well, would you want to know? If you could know what happened to her, would you want to know? And he tells her no. So fucking convenient that he says no.
But she can't hold it in, right?
She doesn't tell him yet.
Okay.
But she does want to. But after their first hangout, whatever. I'm not going to tell us in order. When she sees Lucas again, they sleep together.
Yeah.
And I fucking knew she was going to fold.
Yeah.
But she was like, wait, him and I are rekindling, we're reconnecting, we're sashaying together. We love each other again. And so she breaks after they sleep together. And she's just like, oh my God, I have to show you something. So she goes to the VHS tape, puts it in, fucking
gets to that
gets
point.
to the end, and then there's nothing there. But at that point, she had already told him, like, I know what happened to Emma. My parents found her body.
Look, I have to show you this. It shows everything.
Yeah, well, not everything, but because she's trying to tell him, I don't know what happened to her, and I don't know exactly what my parents had to do with her, but they had something to do with her.
And it really sucked because that wasn't there, and she starts to connect, like, maybe that break-in, maybe that's what they took. They deleted the end of the tape, those bitches. And Lucas is like, this is a mistake. You're clearly not well.
You're clearly unhinged.
I'm not well. We need to not do it. And she's like, but I love you. And he's like, I love you too, but I can't do this right now. And so he leaves. And Beth fucking loses it. She like starts burning everything.
Yeah, she burns all of their stuff because she was so meticulous on separating everything by what it is. But after that, she just burns everything.
And I think Nicole and Michael come home to her like standing in front of all the things they had organized, and it's in flames, and they like pull her away, and they're like, what the fuck are you doing? And she's like, well, does it matter? There's no consequence to anything in life. Nothing matters, so why the fuck should I care?
Yeah.
And at this point, I don't remember where Michael goes, but he leaves. I think they all fight with each other.
Well, at this point, doesn't Nicole tell them, I don't think Emma was the only person that our parents hurt? Because then she brings out these like newspaper clippings that the mom had compiled of this other girl. I forgot her name.
Christy.
Oh, yeah, Christy. She was the weird girl that wanted to be friends with Beth, but Beth didn't want to be friends with her.
Yeah.
And so she shows all of these news clippings of how she disappeared, but everyone thought that she just ran away. But Nicole tells them, I think mom kept this because maybe she thought dad had something to do with this. Or maybe it might have been Beth who came to the conclusion. But either way, now they're finding other people who had something to do with this or connected to this.
Throughout the story, too, we're also reading clippings of the journal entries that Nicole has. And there's a point where we read a journal entry in which the mom basically says, we got away with Emma's disappearance because the dad had left an anonymous tip that it was this man named Charles. And he was a man that was very to himself, lived at the end of the street. He wasn't a bad guy. He just didn't really talk to anyone.
And didn't he have like his house was, I don't remember.
Next to the park.
It was right next to the park. So a bunch of like kids' footprints just happened to be in the backyard. And so when that anonymous tip was left, everyone just kind of ran with it. They were like, you know what? He is weird. And
even the police ran with it.
He is antisocial also. So he would do this.
It isn't until a random bike was found, which belonged to Emma, where they realized it wasn't Charles and he got out of prison.
Where they placed the bike somewhere else, right?
Yeah, so it wouldn't have made sense if it was him.
So,
which this bike was placed by Laura because she couldn't stand that this innocent man was going to jail for something that she feels like they did.
Can I say something though? I didn't know if I agreed with her doing that. Only because then she goes over to his house with fucking baked cookies. And she's just like, hey, I made extra if you happen to want any.
Yeah.
And Charles is, everyone in town.
So bad about this, so.
Everyone in town hates him, hates his guts. And so he's just kind of like, well, why are you here if everyone hates me and everyone thinks that I had something to do with Emma? And I don't. I didn't do anything to her. And she's like, I know, I believe you. But to me, I understand why she would do this, but I feel like that's so dangerous because if people see you fucking baking cookies to this man, they're going to assume that maybe you had something to do with it.
It really hurt my heart, though, because there was a point where he, at the very end, right before she left, he said, I used to think being invisible was the worst thing.
Oh, yeah.
But being hated for something I didn't even do is worse.
Yeah.
And out of everyone in this whole town, you're the only one that's ever shown kindness to me. And Laura thinks to herself, like, oh, well, don't hope on that because, like, it's very selfish why I'm doing this.
She feels very responsible for it. And so What happens to Charles though? Because then they find out that Charles is dead, right? Or he's been dead.
There is one random day, and we learned this through a journal entry that Laura writes, where Brian comes home super late, and she's like, "Why are you home late?" It's like, "Don't worry about it."
He's in the shower.
Yeah,
and he's showering, but he's like wiping away blood off of him.
Yes,
and she's just like,
she touches it and is like, "What is this?" And he's like, "Don't freak out. It's not even mine." And he reveals that he went out drinking with Emma's dad. I don't remember, Eddie. And Eddie saw Charles at the same bar that they were at. And Brian tried getting Eddie to leave, but Eddie was drunk and attacked Charles and killed him. Mm-hmm. And because Brian felt so responsible for a lot of things, he
helped him hide the body.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so at this point, Laura doesn't really know what the hell is going on because Brian is keeping her in the dark.
But at this point, he reveals everything.
No, I'm just saying, like, for us.
Oh, okay.
I'm saying us, the readers. We don't know what the hell is going on. But from what we know, she has been trying to figure out why he's been so to himself. Like, he's very reserved. Like, he doesn't want to let her in. Yeah. And whenever she asks, he's just like, you don't want to know.
You don't want to know.
You don't want to know. If you know, then it's going to change everything.
And then she says, like, it's not that I want to know. It's that I need to know.
Yeah, because she feels guilty about what happened. But he tells her,
and this
if he tells her, if you knew, you would do it too. Or you would have done it too.
And then at the very end of this journal entry, it's like, after he tells me,
I wish I never knew what happened.
Because now I get it. Mm-hmm. Now I get why he did what he did. And I would have done the same.
Yeah.
And I'm like, holy shit. What do you do then? Wait, you're telling me that you're okay with Emma being buried? Because I was over here thinking that he was the one that killed her.
Oh, me too.
I was like,
I thought it was like an accident. Like he must have accidentally killed her. Like just like a hit and run. I thought maybe that's what it was.
Yeah. I didn't know what I thought it was, but I thought there was going to be like this weird like friendship between them. I don't know. I don't know what I thought.
Between who? Sorry, I'm
between
lost.
Emma and Brian. And then I was like, that's weird because that's a child. So I was like, I feel like that's why it was so hidden. But I don't
honestly
didn't know.
I was starting to think like, okay, maybe Brian had something to do with it, but maybe also Emma's dad had something to do with it because I don't know. I was just like, where is this going? This feels really weird.
So then there's that, but then there's the disappearance of Christy as well, that for some reason is connected to all this. So I'm gonna skip to the end if that's okay. So after everyone thinks Beth is going crazy, she kind of is like, you know what? I'm going to go find these fucking bodies. I'm going to go find, I'm going to go home and find where the bodies are at. Because they got to be here somewhere. We saw it in the tape. So she's digging holes. Well, I think it's raining, right?
How did she figure that out though?
Because wasn't it in the tape? Didn't she just go to the same place where the tape showed?
Is that why?
I think so.
Wasn't it through a journal entry?
Was it? I don't know.
But you're missing a part though. While Beth is going through it, Nicole is pretending to be Beth. Remember, she goes to the bank and she's like, "Oh, there's a lockbox for me." And she's just like, "Oh, well, I need an ID." And she tells her, "Well, my mom just passed away, so can I just like get in there? I forgot my ID. I'm not really here right now. I'm not here right now." And so she feels bad for her, and so she lets her in. And then when she opens the lockbox, that's when she finds like the truth. The truth was revealed.
That says the truth on it. Yeah.
And then we forgot to mention that when the mom passed away, they each got an envelope too. That basically was like the last letter written by the mom to each of them. And so when Nicole opened hers, it was very like short.
And it said, "Unfortunately, you were the child that I got, but you were also the child that I deserved. Regretfully, your mom." Like something like that.
Something about like teaching her like the hardest lesson, basically. Oh. And I was like, you know what? Nicole is kind of trash. So yeah, you're right.
That's so shitty to get though. Like after expecting so much from this letter.
I kind of had assumed that maybe it was because Nicole wasn't around.
Yeah. I don't know. It
That's
just
what I
felt
thought.
it felt so cold to me.
Mhm.
Did it ever reveal what was in Beth's?
No.
No? Okay. So Nicole finds out the truth.
Oh wait, I don't remember if it did reveal Beth. I don't think so.
I don't think it did.
Wait, maybe it was in Beth's letter that said the body. I don't remember. I'm just making it up now.
It might be. I don't know. Who knows? So Beth's outside. She's digging holes, and she finds these.
But she finds the bodies because remember they're marked by the pets that they had.
Yes.
And she's just like, wait, we never had a pet named Butterfly.
Yeah, but she remembers that her parents used to call Emma Butterfly.
Mm-hmm.
And so when she opens it up, she sees the body, the remains.
Mm-hmm.
And then she's like, but wait, who the fuck is Garfield?
Mm-hmm.
And opens it up and sees a human body, like, an adult body. And it's like, okay, weird. And then she opens up the last one that's labeled Goofy. And it's an adult man. And she's like, holy shit, that's my dad. Because my mom would call him Goofy.
Yeah.
I was so confused.
Yeah.
Because I was over here, brain cells trying to function.
The dad is dead.
I had to send an email. Wait,
no, dude. I had a feeling. I was like,
decompose in 2 days. Whoa.
I had a feeling the dad was dead. I was like, there's no way this man's alive. He's fucking dead.
I was so sad.
Me too.
But then I was like, then what the fuck did he do? Why this man buried with a bunch of cats?
I just felt like it wasn't going to be the most obvious answer, which was the dad being shady.
Yeah.
I was like, there's no way.
Yeah. So fucking Beth is over here looking at all these remains, and Lucas pops up out of nowhere and is like, Beth, I heard you scream.
Is that my sister?
Emma? No, but she is over here looking crazy. And she automatically remembers her mom saying, don't trust. And she's like, am I not supposed to tell anyone anything? Like, do I not trust anyone? Mm-hmm. So she's just like, I'm just here. Just go. And she can't keep it to herself. It literally lasted 2 seconds. She's like, I found the remains of my dad and your sister. Long story. Please I need to call someone. And then Michael shows up. And
Michael fucking shoots Lucas. Ooh.
I knew I never trusted Michael.
Shut the fuck up. You love from page 1, you were like, oh my god, Michael. I love when men are named Michael.
So with his Balenciaga fucking gun.
Did you actually like him?
I trusted that man. Oh. And he ripped my heart out.
It's always a man.
But he's over here, a gold ass gun. Just like holding it like a rich man.
It's like it's not even him who's shooting. He hired someone else.
I know.
He's just standing next to them.
He just points that one.
Shoot right over there in her arm, please.
Love that shit. And he's just like, my dear sister.
You could have just sold me the house and none of this would have happened.
And then she's just like, you knew that the bodies were here. Duh. Why do you think I wanted this piece of shit house? Yeah, I wanted it to keep it. For Nicole? Oh, that's not going to last. So he's over here being a dick and reveals that with Emma, it was just an accident. They were just playing around.
Yeah, they were playing around and it was a little too rough.
And then he went to college because his parents really wanted him to grow. But then his girlfriend died of a freak accident. And that was also an accident. But the dad didn't believe him. Mm-hmm. And so
the dad didn't believe him. And so he confronted him that same day and was like, did you fucking do it again? Mm-hmm. Did you do it again? But then Michael, being Michael, ends up strangling him. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yeah.
I think it was strangulation. Then the dad dies, mom shows up, and Michael's like, oops, now we got to bury the body.
I did it again, mom.
Literally. Now we got to bury the body, mom.
And they do. Mm-hmm. And Beth is here.
That's why she tells him, don't ever come back here.
Mm-hmm. Beth is reeling, and Michael's like, well, you're about to join them because you know too much. And Nicole comes and saves the day and slays the brother. Doesn't she like, there's like an altercation between the three of them, and Nicole grabs the gun and shoots him. And I remember this point because you don't know who shot the gun. So it's very, like, it's super intense. But then afterwards, it's just all of them kind of like, you know, the police are there. It's that scene in the movie when all of them have blankets around themselves. You see Lucas sitting and he's like, he's going to be okay, but he's hurt. And then you see Nicole walking by and like Michael's just fucking almost dead. And they're like putting him in the gurney, and Casey, which is the detective that used to be Nicole's friend, is like, he's going to be okay, I think. I don't actually know. He's not at all gonna actually, no, that bitch might die. But what are you doing
But
later?
he made it though, right?
Yeah, he does make it. But
oh yeah, he makes it because now he's fucking stuck in the fucking hometown that he was born
that's
into.
So funny.
That's hilarious.
But he makes it. He goes away, and then Nicole walks up to Beth, and Beth is like, "Holy shit. What a crazy Thursday. Am I right? It's barely Thursday. I can't believe that shit." And she's just like, "Oh my gosh, Beth, you're like the strongest person I know. Like, you went through so much shit." And it's like, yeah, but you also did. So like, it's both of us. And they both say, "I love you" for the first time in a very long time.
Yeah.
And Nicole describes it as like a piece of her that she didn't know needed to be healed is healed. And it's also revealed that the letter that she had read from her mother was actually directed to Michael. Michael had just swapped their letters. And she opens her letter that the mom wrote for her and realizes that it's going to be super heartfelt. So she closes it and she's like, "Okay, I'll read it another time." But they read the truth together. And it turns out that murder that happened between, well, Emma being murdered by Michael wasn't an accident, because Christy, which was the girl that lived on that block, she took photos of the whole thing. And it was like several photos. It was kind of described as like, if you flip the photos, it would look like it's a video. And he did not give a fuck for what he did.
I don't remember what he did though.
He shoved her into the water, and then when he picked her back up, he was just kind of like putting water into her skull. Like, he did not care what was happening to the body, and then just threw grass on it and left. So he was very like dismissive, didn't have any emotion on his face after doing it. And afterwards, it describes the altercation between the dad and Michael. And then Laura brings up in that letter, "I loved my son, but I can only love him from a distance. So I told him to never see me again." And then she came up with the plan of like, dad disappeared, and then just left it at that. And Christy, the dad, felt bad for her, and she said she would cover up for Michael if the dad gave her $5,000 and a way to leave her home, because her parents weren't great. So yeah, this is like the end of a movie. Everything's okay. Michael is in prison for life.
Nicole is a famous author now because she wrote about this.
Yeah. And
I think Beth and Lucas are together
because they adopted a son together. And then Beth already had an older daughter.
Oh, yes. And her daughter's there now because they rekindled their relationship too.
And at the end of the book, they're watching TV together and they see Nicole. And this is the pin I wanted to mention, the parallel.
Before you go, we forgot to say that they did end up spreading the mom's ashes. And the reason why she wanted to be spread around was because that's where the dad was buried.
Yeah.
In
the
home.
Fuck. That's a lot. So at the very end, Nicole's being interviewed for the book she wrote. Home is Where the Bodies Are. Good for her. I love that shit. And the interviewer is asking her like, well, if your parents were here, what would you say to them? And she was like, I would say that I love them and that I understand why they did what they did. Well, what if your brother was here? What would you say to him? Like that I love him and he protected me so much from the monsters in my life that I forgot that he needed protecting from his own monsters. And you could tell that, like,
They wanted something juicier.
yeah, but she does have one tear that's shed, and she refuses to wipe it because she's like, this isn't for them. This is for me, type of thing. And that makes me think of that one, like you were saying, the Black Mirror episode, because at the very end when they interview him, it's kind of more of it's seen as a phenomenon and not like an event that happened in his life. Mm-hmm. Which is crazy to me, because that's kind of what this was being viewed as. And it's like, no, that shit happened to me.
Yeah.
No,
and it broke their family.
Yeah. So weird of you to want me to cry about it.
Yeah.
Weird that your first question was like, so your brother's a murderer, huh?
Crazy. How does that make you feel?
Yeah, it's like, what the heck? Hello? That's like, your opening question?
Like, what do you say to that?
That's so weird.
Mm. I'm surprised they weren't like, well, what were the earlier signs?
Yeah. Overall thoughts.
I thought it was so good. I really liked that we were in a family. Because I don't know if you felt the same way, but I was like, damn, I kind of connect a little bit. Not to the crazy part,
yeah,
but the like responsibilities part.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the different roles.
Oh, it just really got to me, because just the fact that sometimes when parents aren't there, siblings just have to try to figure it out on their own. Mm-hmm. That shit hurt.
It does.
It really, really hurt me. And I cried at the end with the interview.
Did you?
Yeah.
Wow.
Because it just makes me so sad that like so much traumatic shit can happen in your life, but life has to move on.
Yeah, you're right.
But it kind of, I really like that mom's message that she had, where she would like to appreciate the small moments in life. Like, for example, a sunrise only lasts 5 minutes.
Oh, dude,
but
that part.
She would appreciate it because, you know, it's the little things. And I'm like, shit. This mom was so wise, and it just sucked because I think even Nicole, she doesn't say this in the interview, but she thinks it. She's like, my parents weren't perfect people, but they were great parents. They just happened to make a mistake in the middle of them trying to protect their kids.
I know, and that's so sad.
Wow.
Dude, both this book and then the last book were giving me like a crisis of motherhood. I was like, damn, I don't think I want kids because I'm like bugged.
Yeah,
this is so sad.
It's a lot. Mm-hmm. I can't imagine having a child and like going through that shit after you just had a moment of like, wow, I have a great family.
Yeah. And I thought it was so sad for how Laura really wanted to document everything, because she was like super excited about her camera, and she'd be like, you guys don't like it when I record you, but you're going to be happy when you're older. You know, I want to capture these moments so that when we can look back on them fondly. But I just felt bad for her. I was like, she just wants to be a mom. Yeah. These bitches don't let her. Well,
they
Michael.
Don't let her.
It's just Michael. I fucking hated Michael from the beginning. But I want to say, because also he was a snob. He was a fucking snob.
He was, I will admit. But I just feel like had they just handled that first situation differently, things would have been better.
You mean the parents?
Yeah. They shouldn't have hidden the body. They should have. It sucks.
I don't know. I'm not a parent, so I can't say. But like, I guess I get it. But like, they shouldn't have done that.
They shouldn't have done that. They should have gotten support when needed. You know, because there are a lot of stories where kids do things or they mess up seriously when they're young.
Yeah. And
instead of treating them like criminals, it's more of like, okay, we're gonna talk about why what you did was wrong, and it's years and years of therapy. And I'm not saying what they did isn't a crime. But you also have to understand that some kids, they don't have empathy. Some don't. Yeah. And you have to learn how to work with people who don't.
Yeah. But I think empathy is just something you learn with more experience that you gain.
But some people struggle more with it. Because I don't think Michael was empathetic at all.
No. Never. Even when you thought he was, he wasn't.
That bitch tricked me. He had me right under his Balenciagas. I
will say that I had no idea who or what was happening in this book. I was kind of just taking it as it was going, as it was
in it for the
presented,
ride.
as it was presented to me. But I never trusted Michael. I didn't trust Nicole either. I was like, Nicole, fishy. Don't trust her.
I really like what Nicole became by the end.
Yeah,
though.
me too.
I love her. And I loved Beth.
Yeah,
And her little
Beth to me
family.
was number one.
I love that. I love that shit. Overall, I think this story was so well written. I was in it from the very beginning. I think I would give it a 5 out of 5.
Really?
Yeah, I really like this story.
Yeah, it was really good. It was our first Jeneva Rose book. I thought it was really good. I agree with you that the descriptions were written really well.
Yeah, what would you give it?
I think I would give it like a 4.5.
I respect that. I respect that.
Yeah, I don't know. It was so good though. I kind of wanted them to find more stuff in the VHS tapes though.
Oh, me too. That's something I was going to mention. The cover of this book is a VHS tape.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was going to be a bigger point of the whole story, but it wasn't.
Me too. I kind of thought it was going to be like that Black Mirror episode where you just keep going through the VHS tapes and you learn more and more of what the hell was happening.
Mm-hmm. I'll read a positive. Okay. To those of you who are listening to us in audio form, thank you so much, whether that be Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, or anywhere you get your podcast on. Thank you so much. If you can leave a rating of 5 stars, it literally takes like 2 seconds to do, and it makes a huge difference. That would be great. And if you would like to leave a review recommending us our next book, we are currently doing our spooky reads for September and October. So if you want to recommend maybe something a little lighter for the end of the tunnel, that would be amazing.
No.
Yes, please.
No.
Yes.
Lighter? Heavier, please.
I know. I'm scared all the time now.
These last 2 weren't scary though. Where were you on the scarometer?
Here, I was probably also a 0.
Same.
But I'm just scared all the time during these 2 months.
Scary though.
I'm afraid right now.
I've been looking up scariest books. Let me know the scariest books ASAP, please.
I saw this one post where this guy was like, I'm leaving. And his friend was like, well, what about the fear? The fear comes with me. And I'm like, that's me. That's me.
Oh my God.
If you want to support us and they have a little bit of money, what can they do?
We do have a Patreon. At the moment, it just serves as a way for our listeners to let us know that you really enjoy our content. You can find us on patreon.com/bookfix. But if you don't want the commitment of monthly, then you can find us on Ko-fi, which is ko-fi.com/thebookfix, or buymeacoffee.com/thebookfix.
If you are watching us on YouTube, thank you so much. If you can like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell, because we post every Tuesday, every Thursday. Thank you. We also have a social media, or we have a lot of social media. We have a Goodreads, a Threads, and an Instagram at the Book Fix Pod. And we also have a TikTok at the Book Fix. Thank you. At the end of these episodes, we like to read a positive and negative review of the book. I will read the positive. This comes from Outlaw Poet, who gave it a 5 out of 5. Wow, what a mystery. I did have my suspicions about what really happened way back when, but I was only right about part of it. The read is intense and our characters are so very damaged. It's so very compelling. Expect that to have your heart broken more than once, and definitely expect to be surprised. An excellent read.
This comes from Mia. They gave it 1 out of 5 and they wrote, this book was a huge disappointment. The only thing I liked about it was the cover. It was so boring and nothing really happened until the very end. I guessed exactly what was going to happen from the very beginning. I'm wondering if the people who like this book have ever even read a thriller before, because anyone who regularly reads them would guess the whole plot from the start.
Thank you so much for listening, and we will see you next time.
Bye.
You know what I think is funny?
What?
When you and I like a book and we completely go, this is what I love about it. This. And then the negative review is like, this is what I hate about it. And I'm just like, eat that up.
Well, reading is an experience that's different for every person. And it's okay.
I love that. It's about the journey.
And the friends you made along the way. Or the enemies, Michael. Number 1 enemy.
Yeah.
Fuck that bitch.
Something about him being rich was really funny to me.
Why is that funny?
Because he's over here coming to a small town wearing Gucci. Love that shit. Love that shit.
But I hated how he was like, oh, you're still living here?
Wait, you're poor?
Wait, you're broke? Why don't you just say that? Don't talk to me. Ugh.